Hi, this is Judge Harry Bowden with Child Support Court Vodcast. Make sure you go to childsupportcourttv.com. Check out the new videos, our sponsors, and get to Ask Judge Harry, where you can call in every Tuesday from 9:30 to 11 and ask Judge Harry. Thank you for being a loyal viewer of Child Support Court, the Vodcast, with Judge Harry Bowden.
GetMyBabyMoney.com.
Get my baby money. Get your money, baby, get your money, money. Get my baby money.
Welcome back to Child Support Court, the Vodcast with Judge Harry Bowden. And we're back with Janelle Dawson, the one and only therapist that you need to see. And me. All right. Where were we now?
We end up continuing the ideology of men are supposed to be this way and women are supposed to be this way.
Well, aren't we?
To a certain extent.
Okay.
Somewhat. Because, and what I mean by that is women are supposed to cook, clean, and men are supposed to like.
Men are supposed to provide,
Men are supposed
protect,
to
shelter, right?
Yes, all
so
that.
Why do we have such this big switch now,
Mm-hmm.
where women are doing the providing more than the men?
Because society's changed. We're in a more modern world where women are now.
Oh,
we're going into.
Here we go. Here we go. I had a show with Miss Berry. Hi, Miss Berry. Halle Berry. And she made that very same comment. In these modern times, things have changed.
Yeah.
Well, if you're saying that, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
But if we start transferring that
Mm-hmm.
to our young boys,
Mm-hmm.
then what do we get? And what have we gotten?
What do you mean?
What do I mean? Why are men, in a pejorative sense,
Mm-hmm.
not assuming the roles which society has placed on them in the past?
That is a really good question. That's a really good question. This is my take on it. I think that a lot of men want to be in that role. They want to feel like they can provide and protect, right? But I think the struggle comes because women have changed. The way in which women have become a part of society has changed, and I don't think a lot of men have changed that.
Therapist, you're dancing, you're doing that two-step. Because I want to put in, and I will say that I understand you,
Mm-hmm.
okay? But I would also put in that women have raised boys, but
Agreed.
they have trained
The girls.
women.
I agree.
And we don't train our boys
I agree.
that it's okay to cry when you fall down and hurt yourself,
Yeah.
but stop it.
Yeah. So it's you cried, we can, like, I can soothe you because again, you're 4.
Right.
I can soothe you, but then this is how you recover. It's the same way I do with my daughter. All right, you had your moment. Now let's move on from that moment. But you got to give people time to be able to do that. But I do agree that there are a lot of that the absence of fathers has contributed to how men now see themselves in
Now
society.
let me bring that back. Absence of fathers, those that voluntarily
Yes.
and are pushed
Yes.
to be absent.
Yes. Yes.
the effect that they have on the child is not supportive of the child.
Correct.
How
Yes.
do we change that push
Yes.
to be absent?
And right. And I do lately or within the past decade, a lot of men, I think that, I don't know if you saw it, have been able to get back into that role of father, where there was a huge just gap in the 90s, 80s, 90s, and maybe early 2000s, where in this past decade a lot of fathers are very much more present now, which I think is great. But I do think that we're seeing the effect of having those absent fathers from the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s.
Another study that I just recently read was that we're having a large group of men where those roles have changed and they are now stay-at-home dads.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Is that the natural progression of where we're going?
I don't know. Is it? That's a good question. I'm curious.
Because if mothers continue to train our daughters, then there has to be what you said, a balance.
Yeah.
And how do we get that balance is an issue.
Yeah.
You know, it's a discussion. Because every single day we're dealing with the fact that, and we'll tell you right after this commercial, we'll be right back. You don't go nowhere. Getting married has been made easier. Don't wait. If you are in love, get your wedding ceremony performed virtually or in person at one of our many locations. Get your nuptials in no time. Now you have a friend in the wedding business. Go to streamingvows.com today. And we're back. Every day we're dealing with the issue of where our young men are going to end up.
Yeah.
And the traditional roles have changed. And I'm not necessarily saying that it's bad. But what I am advocating and sharing with our viewers is the need to balance.
Yeah. Yep.
And that balance starts off with who you get with in the first place.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
So let's go back before then, because when you have that normalcy and that man gets with somebody who reminds him of mom, he's looking for mom.
Right.
He's looking for mom to do everything that mom does.
Yep.
But guess what? That woman is allowing him to do it.
Yep, that is true.
Because she, and
has always been in that role.
She's been in that role, but she's also, should I say, not respecting the traditional roles, or has she bought in to the new roles?
Ooh, that's a good one. That is a good way of praising that. So it could be, it depends on the woman, I think. I do think that there does become a lack of respect, which you don't want in a relationship. You want to always have respect in your relationship. So even if a person or a man is a stay-at-home dad, there still needs to be respect. Just because you are the one that is working, there still needs to be respect regardless. But what was the other one that you said? Is it a lack of respect, or is
it a lack of respect of the traditional male roles? And it's one where it's changed, and now really isn't the expectation?
Yeah. So it's two ways. I've seen this happen, where if the woman is making more money than the man, right? Where a woman could hold that over a man's head. And I've also seen where a man feels inadequate.
Less than a man.
Yeah. And she's not even saying anything about him, but it's how he feels about himself. So again, it goes back to self-awareness. You got to know about yourself. You got to know that these are my triggers. You got to know that these are my insecurities. You got to know those things, because then I can reflect. When she said this, was she Did she intend to like put me down, or was that just my own issue? Was that my own button?
Well, you know when you putting them down.
But you do know that. But what I'm saying is sometimes a woman or somebody could just make a comment that isn't meant to hurt you, but you feel triggered. And this has nothing to do with what they said. It has everything to do with your own buttons.
Self-awareness of that child to make them a whole person.
Yeah.
What practical steps, what practical things do we do to make them whole and aware of themselves as parents? What should we do?
Talk.
No.
It's that simple. You have to talk to them because, like I was saying earlier, kids will make a misinterpretation of anything. They will assign the wrong definition to everything if you don't tell them what it means. So again, I have adults where I have to explain to them, this is what this word actually means. But you've created this idea in your own head that is not true. So
little Trump in there.
So if you talk to your kids and help them understand what's going on. So again, if you and your child's father are at odds with each other and the child is witnessing it, talk to the child afterwards and explain, hey, this is what was going on. This is what happened. Not to put the other parent down. Me and your father had a disagreement. It has nothing to do with you.
Let's switch it around. Me and your mother had a disagreement.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Me and your mama, we just didn't agree on it.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean that I don't care about her.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean that I don't love her.
Mm-hmm.
It simply means that she ain't right at this time.
Mm-hmm. And I made
You agree to that?
Yeah.
She ain't right.
Wait.
She ain't right. She
wait.
ain't
Wait. I didn't hear the last part. I didn't hear the last part.
So we got two parts. One part we got is talking,
Yeah.
listening, and then hearing.
Yes.
Which is one of the issues I really want you to tell our viewers about. How do you actively listen and hear?
Yeah. It's a very simple concept, but people really struggle with active listening. So with active listening, the first thing you gotta do is actually listen. You gotta hear, right?
Okay.
So, because hearing and listening,
there are two different things.
Yeah.
And you tell me, is this right? Listening, active listening, is the process of receiving the information.
Yeah.
Hearing is the process of understanding the information. Am I close there?
It's switch it. So,
Okay.
because you can hear, I can hear everything, right?
Okay.
Everything that's going on around here. Like, you could be talking to me and I'm hearing you, but I'm not listening to what you're saying.
Okay.
So, hearing is simply the sounds that is coming into your earlobe. But listening is me actually taking in what you're saying. So,
Okay.
just flip it. Yeah.
Okay.
So, with listening, and this is the part that people struggle with, is you may be saying something. Like just what happened when I said, wait, I didn't hear that. I wasn't listening at that part.
Mhm.
I did hear you were saying something, but I wasn't listening, right?
Okay.
But what happens a lot of times is people are in communication and you say one point and I get stuck on that one point and I'm not listening to nothing else that you're saying. I'm hearing everything you're saying it to me. Sure, I know you're talking, but I'm now in my own head trying to figure out how I'm going to fight against what you just said.
Ooh, without hearing, without going no. Okay, so you stuck.
So you stuck.
Ooh, Lord.
And so I could start off my sentence saying, Harry, I did not like the way that you gave me this mug. Next time I would appreciate it if you, but you don't hear the next time part. All you heard was, I didn't like that mug. And now you gotta jump on me about, well, why you don't like my mug? And it's like, wait a minute.
Well, isn't that the same challenge we have with our kids?
Yeah, and so that's why you have to teach them how to listen.
Ms. Dawson, thank you so much for coming, and I'm going to ask you if you would come back.
Sure.
So listen, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Keep those calls, those emails, those comments coming in. We appreciate it, and we'll see you next time on Child Support Court, the Vodcast with Judge Harry Bowden. Take care now.